Good afternoon, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and I gotta ask, don't you hate it when someone answers their own questions? I do. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game that just released earlier today on Steam called Karagon, although it then has in parentheses, Survival Robot Riding FPS. I'm pretty sure the name is just Karagon, but still, that's weird. Anyway, it was developed and published by... okay, let me get this right. TBJBU2. Again, weird. Are we sure an AI didn't create this game and add it to the Steam store? Whatever. It was released in early access and selling for $20 American. Now, I don't know how to approach this game. It has no story, so I can't really give you much in that regard. It just kind of plops you down, and now you gotta survive without any explanations at all. Basically, it's your classic survival open-world game. Chop trees, hunt animals, cook their meat, keep your health and hunger up. It's got day and night and lots of building and crafting. I mean, this game feels like early alpha, like early frickin' stages of development. Too early for even a Steam early access release, and that's saying something. And even though it has a couple of servers, it doesn't mention anywhere about being an online survival game. It has online co-op, so you can play with a buddy, but I don't know about the rest of the online capacity because, well, no one's playing it online, so I couldn't test it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. So, as always, I'll just go into the good and the bad and follow it up with my final thoughts. So, up first for the good. It's stable, I guess. It never crashed on me. Hell, it never even had frame rate dropping. It never clipped or froze or had trouble starting up. It's pretty stable considering it's early access. No problems there at all. And, no, the building function is not the worst I've seen. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Crafting my own little home was a little bit difficult due to the snapping function, snapping with wrong pieces, but, you know, I was eventually able to get my own little home built up out here. Doesn't it look all nice and cozy, considering? But, yeah, it's still just okay. I've seen way better building mechanics in other games, but, you know, it's not terrible, so there's that. Let's see, what else? The game... Oh, okay, the game does have a kind of cool idea. I mean, a planet of robo-animals that you can scan, thus learning about them, craft, and ride around the planet. You can also upgrade them and have them fight other robo-animals. It's kind of cool, almost like an open-world survival crafting game in the world of Horizon Zero Dawn. So that's cool, I guess. Well, that's about all I got for the good, and that was me really stretching it. The graphics are okay. I won't make much mention of them because that's just it. They're okay. They don't belong in the good or the bad. However, the sound effects, on the other hand, these are freaking hilarious. Listen to this. Now that is freaking funny. It's like a parody or something. As you could probably guess, the rest of the sound effects are about as lame and improperly placed as you can imagine, which really helps to pull you out of the game. The music is bland, forgettable, and fades so far into the back that you'll forget this game even has music. There's no plot, there's no story, as I mentioned earlier, and there's no explanations. The game just plops you down in the middle of nowhere with a very vague and bland message bubble posing as a tutorial. It's a pretender. It's not a tutorial. Tutorials teach you and guide you on how to play the game. All this did was give me any information I could have found by Googling it. That's not a tutorial. It's barely an information bubble. There's so many things wrong here that I just combined them all into one awful negative. No story, no plot, no tutorial, no help. Next up is the combat. It's awful. So basically, the game makes the enemies hit you twice during combat. And what I mean by that is, while they're smacking you with a melee attack, they are also shooting energy at you, which doesn't stop. Gets you from far, gets you up close. With the game giving you no way to heal, you die pretty darn quickly if you encounter anything larger than a big dog-like robo. And since the entire sound of the game is effed up, you can't even hear them when they're moving around. Like, you can't hear when one of the big ones shows up and eats your body. So you just ran back to get your stuff, and now a Spinosaurus is sitting on your corpse and eats you immediately. There's no armor or way to heal yourself, so there's literally no way to prepare for a dungeon raid or whatever it is here, other than grabbing bullets for your guns. Okay, I mean, maybe there's armor. There is look like in an inventory slot a place to put armor, but not anywhere in the beginning of the game when you need it the most. Instead, the game wants you to get your knowledge level up first before you get any of the stuff you need. And now I'll explain why that was dumb. To level up your knowledge, you need to scan these creatures. Sounds pretty normal and understandable, right? But even here, the developers make some awful decisions. To be able to scan these robots, you have to shoot off its vulnerable cores and lower its health, at which point it will run. But remember, those lasers I told you about earlier and how they're always shooting at you, yeah, that's still a thing, even as they're running away from you. But now that you've shot off its cores, you have to grab your research gun, your scanner, and get up close and personal to the robot. It has to be within melee striking distance. See, now that you're up that close, it begins melee attacking you, so your health starts dropping really fast again, and since you've got no armor, a way to defend yourself, and your scanner making you be just close enough for his claws to hit you, odds are you're going to die 50% of the time you're trying to scan one of these monsters. In my case, it was more like 70% of the time. I mean, why? It's so dumb. It's so freaking dumb. Oh, and by the way, it is impossible to scan them any other way. You have to engage them in combat to be able to scan them, which of course means they're gonna hurt you. Now, if you manage to do this 5 times, or maybe it was 6 times, then you finally get to go to the next phase. I don't know, I couldn't get there in my playtime, but hopefully the next phase of knowledge was worth it because that sounds just awful. Want to know another sign of a poorly designed game by people who don't know what they're doing? Check this out. Now you tell me, audience, where do these stairs lead? My entire life, I've never seen a dumber designed stairwell. I mean, come on, look at this. Someone had to actively design this. Someone put this here on purpose. Clearly someone who's never seen a stairwell in their life. Either that or it's a horrible pre-designed asset they bought without looking at it. Want another sign? Well, in this game, you can make pistols out of wood and shotguns out of stone, which then fire crystals that you just broke into pieces and picked up off the ground. Even though you have all these robots and fancy schmancy robos around with their fancy technical parts, instead of using those to make a legit laser gun that might actually use crystals as a power source, we get wooden gun, stone gun. I mean, come on. I mean, I hate being mean, and I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to be cruel or needlessly mean or anything, but this is just ridiculous. And for $20, this? The title makes it look like a fake game. The quality of the game makes it look like it's in one of the earliest stages of development, and they're trying to milk $20 out of people. Look, game devs, charge $10 at most for this game and warn people in big bold letters exactly how early access this is on the Steam store page, and then maybe there's hope for you. Also, if you listen to what your fans are saying in the comments and in the discussions, you know, listen to what they have to say and make adjustments. Get some sense. Stairs, believe it or not, should lead to floors and other stairs, not to walls and windows. Guns can't be built out of stone and wood. At least, not like this. A scanner gun, which leaves you completely defenseless against overpowered monsters, you should be able to use it on their dead body, or from far away so you don't die every 2 seconds. Maybe give the big dino robo things some footstep sounds so I can hear them coming. Give us some information bubbles about why the stone gun is better than the wooden one, because there's no stat sheets here at all. Maybe give us a bit of a plot, some story, something. Why the hell are we here? Why are we doing this? I mean, if you don't care enough about the game having a story and having investment, then why should I care about being invested in the game at all? I'm not too sure what the game devs were going for here. It almost feels like a joke. And if the game was $5 or $10, I wouldn't care quite so much. But do I need to pull up a list of games charging $20 on Steam right now that are far superior to this one? If you're going to charge $20, then you're saying your game is just as good as other $20 releases, whether they're early access or not. So I'm going to judge you as such. Don't buy this game right now. It is not worth $20, not even a little bit. It's barely worth $10. If you're really interested in this idea, then maybe add it to your wish list and keep a close eye on it. But as it is right now, it's definitely not worth your $20. It is not worth your time. Stay back, stay away, wait and see what happens next. Don't get me wrong, it has an interesting concept with possible potential, but the way it was released and with that price tag and with how much is wrong or unfinished, it just feels like it's asking for far more money than it's worth. So that's all the time I got for this video today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.